If any of you vote for the bond. Okay? Because, yeah.
Is it like button to the stage? Because I just want to make sure if I'm running across that I'm not going to get.
Oh man.
Oh.
Thank you guys for coming and being patient with us. I'm Vicki Kirkley, head of the theater program here at Prosper High School. And we're going to have two great shows for you tonight. The first one is Queens, and this is the national, well, it's technically the International Thespian Festival Company. And we were invited in November to represent Texas at the International Convention in June. And so, yeah, we did, right? So, since then, we haven't touched the show until 6 rehearsals ago. It's like, okay, guys, we got 6 rehearsals. We can do it. At that point, they were in that mode of, where am I on stage and what's happening? So, they've come a long ways, and they're so excited to share this with you. Thank you for being here, and after this one, at 6:30, we're going to start Women of Lockerbie, which is a student-directed show with our fabulous Varsity Elite class. Miss Avery Benson directed it. She's awesome. And it's going to be amazing. So you're in for some great theater tonight. Thank you so much.
Behold, what he, a king from king, endures.
Look down upon his shame, the cruel wrong that racks his frame, the grinding anguish that wastes his strength.
Till times 10,000 years have measured out their length. The time has come, Henry, our king and our lord, to look at the queens you once loved and adored.
These queens have a captive audience in you to tell their redemption. A lesson taught well.
You will see now, Henry.
I've learned.
You will see.
This is your destiny, Henry. And it is our redemption. You remain to listen to us, and you will see.
You will hear the stories of how you destroyed our lives. You have no choice. You must see what we need you to see.
We will show you over and over again.
You will see now, Henry. You will see.
We are your judges, your jury, and your executioners.
But this is a fate you will never escape. We never had the opportunities in our lives for a fair trial. So now you will listen. And Henry, my dear husband, you will see.
Get off me! I don't want to see it again. I can't see it again. Please. I know my wrongs. It is enough.
We are the wives of Henry VIII. We are the queens.
King Henry VIII had many wives.
3 called Catherine, 1 Jane, and 2 Anne.
Catherine of Aragon was his first bride, 20 years by his side.
But no baby boy, no son, and no heir. So Henry got a divorce, much to England's despair.
Anne Boleyn was his second queen. She lured him in to keep him king.
But still no son caused Henry to dread. So they chopped off poor Anne Boleyn's head.
11 days later, he married dear Jane, who finally gave him an heir to reign. The birth of the prince caused Henry much joy.
But Jane's life was the price that paid for the boy.
Anne of Cleves was his fourth wife. with whom he planned to spend the rest of his life.
But by the time they met for the very first time, he had already moved on to the next in line.
Catherine Howard was his child bride, but when she said she loved Henry, he knew she lied.
Caught with her lover, she lost her king, as well as her head to the axeman's swing.
Catherine Parr was the lucky last, reunited the family Henry lost in the past.
But she almost lost her head in the tower when she questioned King Henry's power.
Divorce, beheaded, stop it, die, divorce, beheaded, survive, divorce, beheaded, die, divorce, beheaded, survive!
The King of Spain's daughter came to visit me. Her hair was chestnut, her dress sapphire. She asked for my little nut tree and my golden pear. So I said, fair princess, I'll give you all that I have for my little nut tree.
Needles and pins, needles and pins.
When a man marries, his troubles begin. Catherine of Aragon, his first bride, 20 years by his side.
But no baby boy, no son, and no heir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
To lose one baby, a tragedy.
To lose 5, treason.
Leave us! Do me wrong.
A son, his kingdom will pay for a son.
I will divorce Catherine.
But she was one of the few people that truly did love me.
She is not but a hindrance. Her ability to produce a son has withered up and died. Damn that woman! Why won't she grant me the divorce I crave? I am the king.
You are also her husband.
I will threaten what she loves most in this world as long as she still continues her insubordination. Her daughter.
My Mary, my child.
No woman shall ever defy me again.
That was a moment right there. Oh God, why did I not see? I could have chose between love and hate, and from this moment on, I chose hate. And here I am. Please, no, I don't want to see it again. I can't. Please.
Now, there will be plenty of time for that once we are betrothed.
Oh my, Anne, just a little longer.
Majesty, I cannot.
Why must you make me wait when you know I love you unconditionally?
Patience. You know my heart.
Anne, I am doing everything in my power to make you my bride. For 5 long years now, I have strived to prove it to you.
My lord, I am weak in your presence.
My love, we shall be betrothed. Cardinal Wolsey will find the means to grant me the divorce I seek. It is only a matter of time.
It is no use. The world is against us. The Pope denies our love. They will never let it happen.
They cannot stop me. My authority shall not be questioned. England will break with Rome if need be. We will have our own religion. My own church. The Church of England. It will happen. We will happen. I will make it happen.
Hastings, is that you?
Oh, it has been too long since you have been to court.
Too long. 3 years, actually. I finally convinced Anne to bring us up for the season. 'Tis a splendid affair. Did you see? The king has brought his Anne Boleyn with him here tonight.
I suppose we must bow to her now.
Poor Catherine, all she could give the king was a daughter. 20 long years wasted.
Well, Anne had better give the king his sons,
Can you imagine?
I just adore coming to court. It is always brimming with the most delicious scandal. Although I must admit, it has become less colourful since Anne has arrived and ceased the parade of mistresses hungry to devour a monarch.
It confounds me that Catherine has tolerated it all these years. Henry flaunting love after lover right under her nose.
Catherine is a true lady.
I remember the days that Henry was by a damsel that he designed and simply plucked her straight from the throat.
Well, it is not too long ago that Mary Boleyn, Anne's own sister, was one of the king's mistresses. It is rumored that her son was sired by Henry himself.
Dear enough to make one's head spin.
It is true.
Well, I must say, what an ambitious family those Boleyn sisters come from. They must be so pleased. Success of their second shot at the throne!
The king's besotted with her. She's bewitched him. That Anne is rotten to the core.
It's a tragic state of affairs.
Poor Catherine, thrown out of her own home and separated from her daughter.
What a terrible thing.
I heard the king's men tried bribing her and coercing her. I heard they even threatened poor little Mary.
And yet, she would not grant the king his divorce. Catherine is so brave.
Have you also heard the king is so angry that his petition to divorce Catherine was denied that he's considering breaking away from Rome?
Our entire country thrown into a state of despair for the sake of one woman.
That's Anne Boleyn, is a manipulative little minx.
Sir, I beseech you for all the love that has been between us. Please take of me some pity and compassion. I have not seen my daughter since I was removed from court. Where is she? Please, Henry, I need to see our Mary. She's only 8 years old.
Mary is safe and sound. You needn't wish to see her.
But she belongs with me. Oh, Henry, how have I so offended you, my lord, that you must force me to suffer so? Henry, why? I take God and all the world to witness that I have been to you a true, humble, and obedient wife. Does all that we've shared mean nothing to you?
Catherine, do not torment me with your questions. Can you not see that our time together is finished? It has been so for many a year now. And I thought that I would always love you, but you are stubborn, headstrong, and infuriating. Why must you defy me?
Henry! Husband, pray tell me how I have so affronted your lordship. These 20 years or more, I have been your true wife, and by me you have had many children. Although it hath pleased God to call them from this world, which has been no fault of mine. Please, Henry, I'm your wife, and I'll love you.
Do not touch me, Catherine! Our lack of an heir is because our marriage is blighted in the eyes of God. There is a curse upon us.
It is you, Henry, that shall be cursed if you continue with this madness. How can you not recognize the spell you're under? I have turned a blind eye all these years to your indiscretions, and now you propose to discard of me. What will happen to our daughter, our beloved daughter, Mary?
This conversation is over, Catherine. We are over. I love another. Anne will be my bride.
You have brought the devil into our matrimonial bed. God will punish you. I will not grant you a divorce. I will never allow that harlot to take my place. You will regret forever denying me, and you will never find happiness with another woman. I pity you, Henry. The name of Tudor will die with your daughter.
Was that it, Henry? The moment your purgatorial fate was sealed.
Or is it that you would do with the rest of your queens that cursed you in this endless loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop?
Anne Boleyn was his second queen. She lured him in to keep him keen.
But still no son caused Henry to dread, so they chopped off poor Anne Boleyn's head.
Who would have ever thought that Henry would have left Catherine of Aragon for one of his mistresses?
Well, Anne is not one of his mistresses yet. That is just the point.
How so?
The only reason he did not leave Anne like he did his sisters is because she has not given him the one thing he truly desires.
She is dangling her virginity in front of him like a fish to a hungry shark. She just wants to be queen.
I disagree most entirely. I believe that Henry's love for Anne has overwhelmed her so much that she's fallen in love with him.
You're a romantic fool.
Well, it seems as though our king is set his resolve to marry Anne.
It is indeed. I received an invitation for a January wedding.
January?
You received an invitation? When?
Oh, sometime last week.
Oh. Have you not been invited? When?
Oh, what a shame. It should be a splendid affair.
Oh, I told Alberta to sign our Reformation oath denouncing our Catholicism straight away.
Oh, this is punishment through and through.
Oh, of course, I'm not a lunatic. Alberta just wanted to send her own messenger. It took days. I was quite fraught.
I can imagine.
Maybe you'll be invited to the king's next wedding.
Let's hope there isn't one.
Can you believe it's been 6 years since Anne Boleyn has come to court? 6 years? I can't believe the king's been so patient with all these letters just to marry Anne.
He's moved heaven and earth to make Anne his bride. He must truly love her.
Well, she better hope he does.
No! Why will you not leave me in peace?
She has betrayed you, my love. I have heard she has many lovers in pursuit to impregnate herself. Her desperation for an heir has pushed her to undertake extreme measures.
Why must you torment me?
They say that your son was born deformed and unnatural.
No.
And they say it is because your Anne Boleyn is a witch!
Get off me, wretch! I don't want to see her again. I can't see her again.
Oh, come on, Henry. Just a walk down memory lane.
It's Anne's turn.
You must learn.
Do not.
Oh, I loved Anne. A pain so raw, it ate at the very base of my soul. I was bewitched by her beauty, by my desire to make her my own. And when I finally had her, I expected so much from her. But yet a daughter was born. I felt my world closing in on me. She promised me a son, but yet another was born dead. My sons kept dying. Catherine was right. I was cursed. I wanted her to suffer.
No son, baby dead, enough said. Thrown out of the royal bed, witchcraft and great treason.
They'll create a valid reason. It will be so easy to prove the final verdict. Head removed.
No, Henry.
No! Please, she's
Henry, my
mine.
love.
She's my daughter.
It is me who you want now. We must find a way to liberate you from Anne once and for all.
I must rid myself of Anne.
Poor Anne.
She is headstrong and argumentative.
Oh, but she was wise and right.
Does she not understand my authority?
Do you not understand her heart?
All I want is a son! An heir to the throne, so the great name of Tudor will continue to rule. But she is a failure.
No.
Her and Catherine, both failures. What use are daughters to me? I must have a son. I must rid myself of Anne now.
So I decided to hasten the process. I had the ultimate power. It didn't matter. The truth, the lies, none of it mattered. She did not matter. Oh, Anne, what did I do to you?
If I cannot justify a true purpose to teach her a lesson, then I will create one. Her life for a boy.
Her life for a boy.
2 down.
Husband.
Anne, I loved you, but you have disappointed me. Bitterly! You promised me the world, but ripped it out from me instead! I sent England into turmoil, all for you. I left my wife, my church, and my sanity, all for you. Can you not see the power that you held over me? You destroyed me, Anne. You killed our son in your womb. You bewitched him, just like you bewitched me.
Oh God, Henry, please, it is lies! All of
Get
it
your hands off
is
her.
lies! Never has a prince had a wife more loyal in all her duty, no more true in her affections than you have found in your Anne Boleyn.
Enough.
Think about
Enough! We will hear your lamenting excuses, but you will be taken unto the highest court in the land. You cannot escape the axeman's swing. You will pay a terrible price for your deception.
Henry! Husband! You have already determined of me that not only my demise, but an infamous slander must be made to bring you your desired happiness. Listen to me. If ever you have found pleasure within my sight, if ever the name Anne Boleyn hath been pleasing to your ears, please
And do not do
be
this.
kind to our
And you do not
daughter,
want to do this.
our baby, Elizabeth. Let her into your heart. Protect her from those who seek to do her wrong. Remember me. Henry. I am your most loyal and ever faithful wife. I am your Anne. Do not do this to
Take her
us.
away.
Please.
Take her away.
No!
Listen to her.
Oh, Lord. My time is nigh. I can hear them chanting my name, condemning me. They hate me. They have always hated me. I can never capture the people of England as I captured their king. For a little while, anyway. For 1,000 days, and now it is over. Oh God. The feeling of terror overrides one. And I must admit, I am so scared. Even now, the very act of drawing air into my lungs, it captures within my throat. Oh God. I have such a little neck, Henry, which shall soon be cut by a Frenchman's sword. I try to keep my mind at ease with the thought that our daughter, nay, my daughter, Elizabeth, will survive the loss of me and take the Boleyn name with pride into a new era. Elizabeth, hear me now. You will live a life of hardship and turmoil. But you will succeed, and you will be queen.
Cease now, thou passing bell. Rung is my doleful knell.
For the sound my death doth tell, death doth draw nigh.
There is no remedy.
Good Christian people, I have come hither to die. For according to the law, I am judged to die. But I pray to God, save the king. For a more merciful prince was there never, and to me he was ever a kind and gentle sovereign lord. And thus, I take my leave of the world, and I heartily desire you all to pray for me. May Lord have mercy. To God, I commend my soul.
No, please. No!
Did you hear what they are saying? The accusations which sent Anne Boleyn to the axeman held no truth.
You mean they were falsehoods? Surely the king would not lie. I myself have been to court 6 times.
She was no witch, just a poor girl whom he wanted to rid himself of. as he was ready to marry Jane Seymour.
Are you saying that Anne was put to death? Also, the king could marry again.
She was tried and convicted.
The trial was a travesty. Oh, Anne was innocent. She died a martyr.
Well, I heard she was bossy and argumentative.
My dear, if every wife who talked back to her husband every once in a while was sent to the axeman, we'd be in a little trouble now, wouldn't we?
Oh, my dear, you are wicked. The Seymours are not what they seem. They make the Boleyns seem apathetic.
They have integrated themselves into every part of King Henry's domain. They knew exactly how to get rid of Anne.
Oh, how ridiculous. There was no conspiracy. Henry simply tired of Anne's jealousy.
Catherine knew her place. She accepted that it was Henry's royal right to take mistresses. Jane will be accepting of his wandering eye as well, I'm sure.
They executed Anne, and the very next day he announces his marriage to Jane. It all seems a bit soon, to be honest.
You forget yourself, my dear.
Jane Seymour was a lady in waiting for both Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn. She's been waiting for this opportunity to pounce upon the king for quite some time now.
I believe her motives are pure.
Oh, my dear, you are wonderfully naive. Jane has been coached by the conservatives to become the flashing bride Henry so yearned for. Though she did learn one thing from Anne Boleyn.
And what's that?
She dangled her virtue in front of Henry and she called herself back king.
Tudor king,
Great acting!
wife killer,
Wine spiller!
hope hater,
Power baker!
riches taker. Oh, for a son.
Well, he did get one.
11 days later, he married dear Jane, who finally gave him an heir to reign. The birth of the prince caused Henry much joy.
But Jane's life was the price that paid for the boy.
I had felt prepared for the birth of our son Henry. I had spent the last month in darkness, feeling nothing but hope and excitement for our future family. I had prayed for a son, and I was sure that the Almighty God above would bless me with one. It was a difficult birth, so long and so very painful. And I was growing increasingly nervous because Henry had lost so many sons in the stages of his wife's previous pregnancies. It was a difficult birth, so long and so very painful. I was having trouble breathing, and I was bleeding a lot. In the midwife is on his own. I could see it in the faces. I was not trusted that Henry would get another dead son. Usually, the father is not sent for the very concerned to help for my child's mortal soul as well as my own. Henry burst through the room, he grabbed the doctor by the throat, and I heard him yell!
Do whatever you can! Cut that babe out of her! Save my son! Save my son!
It was then I felt a new pain, slicing through my very being. My son. Son for the king. Finally. Henry rested in his arms. But I was mortally wounded. And I could not heal because no body is meant to endure what mine had to. Edward, our son, he lived to be king, but not for long. It was as if he too never quite recovered from his traumatic birth. Oh, Henry, I fought for you. I became the personification of a quiet and obedient wife, and you did not protect me!
Slanderous accusations! Oh, my beloved Jane, did I not shower you with love and affection? Not to mention all the riches one queen could love to have been bestowed upon her.
Oh, Jane, why did you leave me? I finally find a bride to be the mother of my son, and she dies?
Oh, God. I killed her.
My beautiful bride, you have given me the most precious gift.
A life for a boy.
I will leave this mortal coil, content in the knowledge that the great name of Tudor will continue to rule.
My duty to guard and kingdom had been fulfilled.
I will miss you, Jane. My one true wife. Life for a boy.
Her life for a
boy!
Her life for a boy!
Henry is the king, and he wants a new queen.
Now this minute without a theme.
Replace! He wants a new face.
Anne of Cleves was his fourth wife, with whom he planned to spend the rest of his life.
But by the time they met for the very first time, he had already moved on to the next in line.
Rid me of that Cleves woman. She bears no resemblance to the portrait shown to me. I like her not. Get me a divorce immediately.
Of course, Your Majesty.
When I was offered a retraction of the matrimonial contract, I happily conceded. I was the lucky one. I actually benefited greatly from my short-lived marriage to Henry. I readily agreed to dissolve our marriage. I escaped and was free and richly rewarded as a result. But then there was Catherine. She was not but a child.
Catherine Howard was his child bride. But when she said she loved Henry, he knew she lied.
Caught with her lover, she lost her king, as well as her head to the axeman's swing.
I too confess, however, this way upon one's conscience. I wonder, turning a blind eye to Henry's atrocities has denied me my place in heaven and damned me to this endless cycle as well. If Henry and I loved each other, and I had given him a chance, and he would have never married that poor, foolish girl who was his next bride. Catherine Howard, one of my ladies in waiting, one of my bridesmaids. We were so intertwined in life and now in death. By marrying Henry, I signed a contract to be part of this twisted tale that may last for an eternity. Unless that will never happen.
Do you still blame Catherine for betraying your heart? She was too young to marry from the start.
Is your role in her death something you regret? Or part of your story you'd rather forget?
Foolish, reckless. Surely she knew the consequences for her actions.
And now they will have her head. She should have known better, considering her own cousin, Anne Boleyn, faced the very same fate.
It's a tragedy, simple and true.
Only 16.
I believe she got what was coming to her. Foolish girl.
I think you'll find that girl is the operative word.
Oh, fiddlesticks! I was married with 2 babies by the time I was barely 15. She was old enough and knew exactly what she was doing.
An elderly man marrying a 16-year-old, nearly 50 years marrying a 16-year-old temptress.
I'm not surprised she thought how green her past.
How could she believe she would not get found out?
Oh, please. There are countless people in court who would train their own mothers if it would advance them in their rankings.
Did you hear what she said about her affair with the music tutor Henry Mannix?
Henry Mannix, by many persuasions, procured me to his vicious purpose and obtained first to lie upon my bed with his doublet and hose, and after he lay with me and used me. But how often I know not.
I can't believe she'd admit to that. I would deny. Don't quote me on that.
I will take it to my grave.
As will I.
But Catherine just admitted her affair with Mannix, plain and true.
Oh, believe me, it gets better. Wait until you hear about what she said about Francis Dearborn.
Francis Derham, by many persuasions, procured me to his vicious purpose and obtained first to lie upon my bed with his doublet and hose, and after he lay with me and used me as well. But how often I know not.
I know that her fate is inevitably sealed. The king will show no mercy.
It is such a tangled web. How did they all come undone?
Her own handmaiden, Lady Jane Rochford, testified against her, and now she too faces the axeman.
Oh, wasn't Lady Jane Rochford also our Queen Catherine of Aragon's handmaiden? As well as Jane Seymour and Anne of Cleves?
Yes, all of them, except for Anne Boleyn.
I heard that Dearham was tortured.
He confessed his earlier relationship and named one Thomas Culpepper as the Queen's current lover. Culpepper was then arrested, tortured, and confessed.
Oh, it's too gruesome.
Oh, it gets better. Dearham was proclaimed a traitor and was hung, drawn, and quartered. Culpepper was also executed that day, and oh, how the crowds cheered. Though he suffered a more merciful beheading.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yes. Poor Catherine Howard.
Poor Catherine.
When they took her through Traitor's Gate, she was forced to look upon the heads of her lovers strewn atop spears. Shall remain there until they rot.
Well, it seems that Catherine has surrounded herself with unsavory subjects.
They say love is blind. It is said that she is in a dreadful way. My friend's sister's aunt knows someone who resides within the privy chamber. It is said that, when faced with the charges, Catherine ran through the castle screaming and begging to Henry for her life.
How dare she? How dare she? Make me a cuckold husband, will she? Betray the King of England, will she?
Henry! Henry, my love, please!
My love.
Henry, where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, Henry! Henry, darling. They say I'm arrested. Oh, Henry, there must be some sort of mistake. Henry, please! Why will you not speak to me?
Catherine. Sweet, sweet Catherine. I thought that I would always love you. But I have been given a letter that you had written to your lover, Culpepper!
Oh, it is all lies!
Lies?
I love no other but you!
Master Culpepper, I heartily recommend myself unto you. And when I think that you shall depart, it makes my heart want to die.
Oh, Henry, please! It is all lies! I never wrote such a hateful letter! I've been compromised by those who seek to ruin me!
Liar! Liar! Look here, Catherine. It has been written upon the Queen's parchment with your own hand. Read it.
Henry?
Read it! Sit here and read to me how you love another!
Henry, please!
Read it!
My love, it is torture to think that I cannot always be in your company. Yet my trust is in you that you will be as you have promised me. My one true love. Yours as long as life endures. Catherine. Oh, Henry, please! Please, I am a stupid, foolish girl!
I shall never see you again. Be gone from my sight!
Henry! Henry!
Stop
please.
it!
Have mercy!
I shall never see your detestable face again!
No! Henry! Henry, please, I repent!
Oh, poor Catherine. That silly little girl.
Caught red-handed in a lover's twirl.
She was so young, so naive when she took that ring.
Such a shame. She lost her head to the Axeman's wicked swing.
I had no choice. She betrayed me. So totally, so publicly. I simply could not let her live.
She is a traitor to England as well as to me.
Adultery when married to the king, who not only betraying that king, the country as well.
She has given me no choice. She will pay for her treachery.
I'm not made of stone. I tried to ignore her lamentations, but they bit in my soul like blades of ice. I never saw a creature so full of woe that it would have pitied any man's heart. I'm sorry, Catherine.
Oh, Lord. I have become a figure I no longer recognize when I spy myself within the looking glass. Oh, Lord. What have I become? Am I the monster they make me out to be?
Yes.
How can they not see this is not something that I wish to endure? Why must I be forced to make these terrible decisions? Why could I not find a wife who loved me unconditionally? Goodbye, Catherine. My rose without a thorn.
Oh God, I'm so cold, so cold. Will I ever be warm again? However shall I overcome these last treacherous hours before my life is snuffed out forever? Oh, before I lose my precious head. Oh! No. No. I must die with dignity, not with shame. I must be remembered in my death as I never shall be in my life. With courage and decorum. Oh, yes, I must do this right.
Catherine Parr was the lucky last. Reunited the family Henry lost in the past.
But she almost lost her head in the tower when she questioned King Henry's power.
The king turned 51 the year Catherine Howard was executed. His moods grew dark and vengeful. He was erratic and unpredictable. To the king, I was the perfect companion and a loving stepmother to his children. However, I also had an opinion, which almost cost me my life. Good morrow, Majesty.
Ah, Catherine, sit with me.
How is your manner this fine day?
I am just pondering the efforts one might need to exude to ensure a spill-proof rising.
Oh, husband, your body may fail you, but your wit is assured.
Well, we'd like to thank you for you have been a true mother to my dear son.
Edward is a delightful boy.
That he is. And we'd like to thank you.
I don't know what to say, Henry.
Well, you are smart and learned, always with your head stuck in the book.
I don't.
You do indeed. See? Pray, tell me what readings does my learned wife indulge in?
Henry, don't.
Tell me.
Henry, listen upon this news. There are 4 men that dwell in the tower that need your indulgences.
Wife dear, Do not bore me with the pitiful lives of radical religious reformists. England does not want them, need them, nor tolerate them.
Henry, the people of England want their king to be merciful. Already you condemned Anne Askew.
Wife dear, do not forget that Miss Askew was condemned because she was a heretic. She refused to name those who share her beliefs. One whom they are saying might be you!
Where is the trust you once had? Why do you believe those who seek to ruin?
Trust can be lost, wife, when one indulges in theological discussions behind my back. How dare you! Damn her! Damn the lot of them! Time and time again, I am subjected to these deceitful women.
Maybe I should have looked to myself for to lay blame. Catherine was a good wife. Then again, maybe all of our queens were.
Catherine will rue the day that she betrayed me.
Oh God! Why could I not see that my queens, my daughters, were more precious to me than kingdom and country?
Now, wife dear, what is all this bother?
I fear that I had angered you. I never meant to have grieved you so.
Do not weep so, for you are safe within my arms. It is simply a challenge that all married people have. Come, walk with me and we will make our apologies.
One will say what one needs to say to keep one's head. My life stood still for the few years I spent with you, Henry. Immediately after you died, I returned to my one true love, Thomas Seymour. A daughter was born. She was so tiny, so precious, so loved, so wanted. It is a cruel, cruel world that we all once endured. And I held my daughter for the first and last time as I slipped away. I died so happy.
Darkness approached, and the end was nigh.
It was now your time
To die! You laid upon
in your agonizing pain.
God said, but it was only fair that you got
So there you were,
Henry.
and nobody cared.
Oh God, the pain was so great. I lived such a hard life. I just wanted it over. I could feel my end was nigh.
I will praise to God on high, that thou constancy mayst see, and that thou the end is nigh. Thou wilt not forget to love me. Henry.
King Henry VIII finally met his end.
He died alone, without a friend.
No.
The men were too afraid to be by his side.
The women of England all wanted to hide.
Keep away, they proclaimed. Away from me. This man, he claims heads.
The really unlucky, he'll marry instead.
This is where you meet your end, Henry!
Please.
Never to be afraid!
Stop it!
Oh, how you fall!
Once you were a cold-blooded, accomplished young man.
Stop it! Get off me!
The true Renaissance prince.
Once you were wise and benevolent, you became a great and glorious ruler, the true hope of your...
What happened to you, Henry?
I don't know!
You became brutal and unpredictable, using your executions as instruments in your royal policy.
Enemies could expect no mercy. Neither could your people.
Neither could your queen!
Oh, Henry. You tried to be a great and powerful king of a monarch for England. Everything you did, you said, was always for England. Can't any of you see? Everything I did it for all of you. I did it for all of you. Please, remember me well.
These bloody days have broken my heart. My lust, my youth did them depart, and blind desire of estate, of truth, it thunders through the realm.
Henry! When you died, you were content in the knowledge that your crown was safe, your heirs, that the name of Tudor was secure.
Your precious son Edward ruled while your daughters were collateral! Your daughters, Mary and Elizabeth!
These girls, your queen, gave you hope that the bloodline of Tudor would remain for centuries.
A millennium.
But Edward was the heir, and he was the spare.
Oh, Henry, dear Henry, how wrong could you be? With your want for a son, you were too blind to see.
The turmoil your crown was about to endure. Let's just say, be careful.
Be careful what you wish for.
10 children, belated, dead.
Crowned are 3 who survived instead. Edward VI, your only son,
Died. A teen. He wasn't the one.
Bloody Mary was quite nice.
But then she burned her subjects per her advisor's advice.
300 Protestants would rue the day
That the Catholic queen had picked her parade.
little Elizabeth, locked in a tower,
Then little Elizabeth came into power.
the daughter you once called the witch's Ken,
Became the greatest monarch England's ever been.
The memories I possess of my mother are few. But I remember her holding me, telling me stories, wiping away my tears, telling me it was all going to be okay. I remember her loving me. 3 years old, my mother had been snatched away, and I was declared illegitimate. The motherless child whose father denied her existence. I was worth nothing to you, Henry. I was just a girl who you didn't like to look at because I reminded you of her. Your Anne Boleyn. But I was so proud to be like her because she was strong, determined, steadfast and heartfelt, nice and her spirit. And that of all to the women inside of me. They were the ones to spur me on. Them, never you. I thrust England into a golden age, the Elizabethan era. Henry, you never believed a queen could rule, did you? Don't you find it ironic that a father who wished so vehemently for a son had a daughter who reigned for 35 years? I was a great and mighty queen. For generations, people have questioned my choice never to marry, and I stand before you now to proudly confess my intentions. I never had children because I wanted the Tudor dynasty to die with me. Like you! Wipe out your name! And I did, Henry. I eradicated you. My final living act was to destroy our bloodline once and for all. When crowned, I stripped myself of the name of Tudor and was forever after known as Elizabeth I, Queen of England. I disowned you just as you had me many years before. I accredit none of my success to you, Henry. I was not a great ruler because of you. I was a great ruler despite you. I am Elizabeth I, Queen of England.
Elizabeth, what am I to do? I am bound here, endless to change any of it. Reliving the sins of my past over and over again. Oh, I know! I see them day after day, year after year, decade after decade, century after century. from these chains. I know my wrongs. I cannot but endure them. Please, what am I to do? What do you want me to do?
Now do you see, Henry?
Yes.
Finally.
The fruits of your labor are fickle.
The life you live rendered obsolete.
So, leave the dead for dead, Henry.
Repent, Henry. Repent.
Repent, Henry! Repent!
You first. I ask you this, my beloved queens. What makes you so much better than I, huh? You have kept me here for almost 500 years, enduring the most painful moments of your feeble lives over and over and over again! You asked for my wrongs! I mean, look at yourself, Elizabeth! You murdered a bloodline, our bloodline. Injustice! You ask if I mourn any of you. No. No. I detest you. Each and every one of you! You all have a place here. Is that it has defined you. You have no power over me. You are not but women!
So be it!
What?
And thus it continues.
Please,